A very warm welcome to you, and thank you so much for joining our Homeopathy 24/7 podcast. We are going to be speaking to an array of international guests who will share their knowledge and experiences of homeopathy with you. We will discuss all types of subjects such as remedies, symptoms, and stories of health. No matter where you are with your homeopathic journey, we aim to inspire you on your quest to natural health and living. The podcast is brought to you by Greensmith, the founder of Homeopathy 24/7, which is a global platform connecting you with a homeopath wherever you are in the world, 24 hours a day. So let's get started with today's chat. Please welcome Mary Greensmith.
Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I'm really pleased to invite Tina Barrow to join us today. Tina, tell me a little bit about you and why you're interested in natural health.
Well, I was born allergic to the world, and I was raised on antibiotics like it was a staple in my diet. I was on it regularly. I was continuously ill, and I was diagnosed with asthma. And I do have asthma, but I had a skin prick test when I was 6, and it showed lots of different allergies. And when I was 15, because house dust mite was it was the strongest allergy I had, and it affected school. It affected because it used to get in my lungs and it aggravated my breathing. And so when I was 15, they gave me a 3-year course of injections. And literally all my allergies settled, and it was quite a magical time because I didn't have to worry anymore. I didn't think about ill health. I started to live. And then I didn't really need much medicine because life was good. But then in my 30s, I had a couple of really strong reactions I had a really bad reaction to coffee, which turned into anaphylaxis. And then I had a really bad reaction to limoncello, and that turned into a life-threatening allergy of lemon. And doctors couldn't help me. No matter, all they can do is treat an allergy as it manifests. Mm-hmm. They can't do preventative. They wouldn't offer me any more injections because the course that I'd taken, there had been fatalities, and so they weren't offering it anymore. And then I was just so ill, every day ill, and I was reacting to so many things that I hadn't reacted to as a child. And my husband was really concerned about where it was going.
Yeah.
And he said he had actually read about homeopathy, and we started to look into it, and we were recommended to a lady homeopath, and she was brilliant. She managed, every time I reacted, I used to message her, and she'd ask me what symptoms I was having, and relevant questions so that she knew how to provide the best remedy. And she gave me a piece that I just hadn't had, and she started to calm my body down, which was amazing. It hasn't gone away, and over time my symptoms got very strong. I'm severely histamine intolerant, and it was my GP who helped me work that out, because I had a really bad reaction to clarithromycin. I had a mosquito bite on my leg, and the whole calf had swollen and it was red. And the doctor thought, wasn't my doctor, he was a locum, but he thought I was having a skin infection.
Yeah.
So he put me on clarithromycin, because with histamine intolerance, it builds in your body before you react. So on the 3rd day, I had what felt like an asthma attack.
Okay.
And then later in the evening, I had another asthma attack. All the while, I'm still taking the medicine. So effectively, I'm still increasing the load.
Yeah.
And then the day after, I had such a bad, but the difference with those attacks was that I wasn't ill after. It's like I recovered really quickly.
Okay.
And the day after, I couldn't breathe. I was literally stretched out, trying to like force air into my lungs. I wouldn't let my husband call the ambulance because I'm generally nervous that they'll give me something that actually will make me worse, not better. So I'm not anti-help, but I control it as long as I can. Homeopathy generally gives me that control, and it calms my body as long as I take the right remedy. But, you know, over time, we've built up knowledge about the right remedies for my body.
So I just love talking to you because you are so observant and you really do delve into what symptom is what and what is causing it. You've just learnt so much about your body.
I think the key for me is that if I wasn't, I don't think I'd be here now. My life has been constant with, you know, as soon as I sort one thing, another thing comes along, you know. So I am a good observer, and it's learning what goes on in my body, how I respond to different things. That's really saved my life. You know, eating healthy is key to all of that. And when I say healthy, I mean, some people, they'll eat a pizza and say it was healthy, but actually that's not healthy. It's really not. There's too much fat, there's sugar, you know. For me to be alive now, I have to have everything fresh. I'm vegetarian. Many foods make me inflamed, and I get tissue swelling, and my legs, I go up a size in swelling.
Okay.
And, you know, observing, you know, I mean, really, it started by me sensing in my body that I felt really nice today. Oh, I feel slim today. What is that? And then I started to look at patterns of eating and what I'd eaten. Yeah. And then I'd start to watch for a reaction. I would definitely test it again to see if I had a reaction. I know that my body does a 5-day detox. So if I've had a trigger and my body's swollen, it affects quite a lot of my body, not just tissue swelling. It affects my bladder. I get tissue swelling in my bladder. I get the same in my bowel, so I have to be very patient. But from the minute I react, 5 days to the minute is my detox.
Okay.
My daughter, she's 3 days, so I studied her. When she reacts, 3 days and she's fine. She has a detox day. My son was 7 days, and he was the hardest. And my husband's just worked out that actually he's got a gluten intolerance. He was starting to test himself, and last week it was conclusive because of how he responded to something he'd drunk, a beer, you know. And he was like, so he'd started to study to see how he could make himself feel better. And it's conclusive. It's like absolutely unbelievable. So I think those observing techniques saved me.
Yes.
So I stopped eating meat. I can't eat fish or shellfish. My typical diet would be seafood. I can't have that. I swell. I get really ill, can't breathe. And meat inflames me. And when you're inflamed, the body, it's like a chronic inflammation. So the body can't function the same. You can't get rid of toxins the same. So you're really becoming, you know, you might as well sign your own death warrant, really.
Yes, it's effectively slowing your body down, isn't it? It's stopping you. That's what it's for.
Yeah,
stop you doing things. So if you've got it internally and issues, it's really quite dangerous for you. So that has, I mean, I always say that nobody knows your body like you do. And when you go to a doctor and and you hand over the responsibility of your health to somebody else, it's quite a difficult thing, isn't it? Because they don't know how you react to things.
When I had the reaction to clarithromycin, my own GP, I saw him because I'm like, what the heck, what's going on? And he said, you see, in England, histamine intolerance isn't recognised by the UK government.
No.
So therefore, the doctors can't study it. They can't say you've got it. They can't treat you for it. They can only treat you for an allergic reaction because that's what you present with. My GP wasn't, so he said to me, I know why he treated you for what he thought was a skin reaction, and they put a pen mark around the outside to see if it grows anymore. But he said, I don't think it was a skin infection. He said, I think it was histamine. Yes. And that was all I needed. And then I researched and I researched and I researched. I found an article on an English citizen who'd gone to live in Australia to work. She had a reaction while she was there, and the Australian doctors do buy into histamine intolerance. It's actually mast cell activation syndrome. Yes. And they treated her accordingly and told her what she had. You can't get that in the UK. Nobody will treat you.
No, you're absolutely right. We are so limited with what is available because of our National Health Service, which of course our National Health Service is a really, really good thing.
It's amazing,
a lot of people, but it means
not me.
We are restrictive, and it can't help everybody, and it means that we have to close in and like you say, not the doctors don't study this and they don't study that, and I'm quite amazed sometimes when I'm talking with people who have a doctor that has no idea about nutrition, or they can't talk to you about what food is and what should be put into your body.
So they're giving you the wrong guidance, and that means people are going away and trying things that are making them more ill. And I value my life. My life is so important. I love my family. I don't want to die. And, caring for myself is crucial to being well. I do it with fresh foods. I don't need, I find alternative ways to cook. So I always say to people, because they say, well, what do you eat? Actually, there's loads to eat. I always we arrive at the same destination, but we take a different journey. So I source different ingredients that suit all of us.
Yes.
And I make, say, spaghetti bolognese, gluten-free brown pasta or linguine. I buy mung beans. I buy everything organic and I cook it myself, and then I freeze it in portions, so that family size portions. And I use mung beans like, most people use mince.
Okay.
And it comes out the same and it tastes the same. Yeah. And it's amazing, so we eat really well, but everything is sourced for our bodies.
So that everything that you put into your body is what your body needs.
Yeah, needs and can cope with.
Yes. Yeah.
I spent years ill, now I have regular well periods. The winter's really tough because my body doesn't like winter. That kind of thing, I'm not in the power to control, although I minimise where I go so that I can maintain reasonable health through the winter. But it's still quite difficult to manage. But I wouldn't eat anything or do anything that would cause my body harm.
Okay.
And one of my GPs, she was quite a few years ago, we were on the phone because I said to her, look, I've changed everything. I'm vegetarian now. I'm doing this. And she really praised me because she said, nobody takes responsibility for their health.
Yes.
Whereas I really want to live. The threat for me not to make it is really high because of the way my body behaves. Homeopathy is an amazing resource. I can feel it working. If I'm having an asthma attack or if I'm having a histamine attack, my blood pressure goes really low, and then it goes high while it's trying to make my body, work.
Yes.
My heart rate goes very low, then high. My heart rate goes down. The lowest it's gone down to is 26, and then it comes up again, and then it goes down, and then it comes up again. I haven't had that for a couple of years now, because everything I do is about ensuring I don't put my body under any strain for that. But one doctor, so we went to, it was the out of hours team, and one doctor, so he was taking my blood pressure because I was really ill, and we were reaching out for help, and he took my blood pressure, and then he took it again, and then he was like looking at me, and then he took it again. He took it all 5 times. He's the only doctor that acknowledged he couldn't get a regular blood pressure. He said, I can put you in hospital today, but he said all they're going to do is observe you, because he knew. Yes. Yeah. And I didn't. I went home and I managed my way,
Yes. Yeah. It's really, really interesting talking to you, because homeopathy is so useful to have alongside everything else.
Yeah.
It can be used with everything else, and we need the help and support that we've got available. We need our GPs, we need hospitals for emergencies. But tell me a little bit about the homeopathy that you've used and how that's helped, and why you turned to homeopathy.
Because Dave was concerned about my health, and we were recommended to a really lovely homeopath, and I was with her for quite a few years until she moved on, and Zoom wasn't around then. So what she did was calm my body down. She used to give me Thuja in the autumn to prepare my body, because the leaves would come down, then they would get wet, then they would ferment and start to break down and create mushrooms and things. And for an asthmatic, fungi is really damp and terrible. So she used to give me Thuja in the autumn. My immediate asthma remedy was Arsenicum, followed by Carbo veg. And they were amazing. They were really good. They literally, I would recover within 20 minutes. I'd be like, it's like, I can't even describe it. It's like waking up. Yeah. It's an unbelievable feeling. If the doubters would even give it a chance, then they would know that although one remedy that works for one person isn't going to work for another, because of the biological impact of how we're made up, our own makeup. But, to dismiss it because they can't get a scientific reading from, one remedy, it's not about the remedy, it's not about homeopathy, it's about the financial impact to other companies.
Yes, that's a very interesting topic for discussion, and about who is arguing about homeopathy, and probably not the people who have had an experience that show that actually when you take a remedy and it works, well, it's and usually people come to homeopathy, we call it teeth. They've tried everything else, homeopathy. So, when nothing else has worked, obviously you're going to look out for something that works. And we usually say, well, there is lots of scientific evidence, but it cannot be created in the same way.
No,
would create a drug that is manufactured to help one particular symptom or reduce one symptom, because homeopathy doesn't reduce one symptom.
No,
it makes your body work better. So it's got to be recorded in a different way, hasn't it? It's got to be kept in a different way. So but what's lovely is, and what I love about homeopathy, it allows you to learn more about your own health. It allows you to learn how to interpret your symptoms.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So therefore, it allows you to have health choices.
Yes.
And know what's right for your body.
Yeah. It's not going to necessarily change. Like for me, there's a lot I have to avoid.
Yeah.
In order to keep my health.
Yeah.
But it supports me to do that. It supports my health.
Yeah.
It gives me the ability to live, whereas I wasn't living, hiding away. I wasn't hiding, but so many things impacted me. It was difficult to do things, and the healthier I got, the more I could do.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because so many people, we are sensitive to a lot of things in the world, and that is only going to increase as there are more chemicals and there are more, things happening with our water and our weather and everything else that's being impacted, and of course, food production. So it makes sense that our bodies are not able to cope with excess of anything. And just if we can just learn about, watch what's happening, observe, and then research and see what could possibly be and what can happen.
Research is important, really important. Research, sorry, is really important because you can't know anything. Knowledge is power. If you find, I don't know, I just find it so interesting. I was going to study as a homeopath years ago, but my health, I couldn't. Now it's available to do online things, but for me, when I wanted to be a homeopath, because of the benefits I'd received from it myself, I couldn't sit in classroom settings because the perfume industry use lemon as a base layer for adding in fragrance, and I'm life-threateningly allergic to lemon. So sitting in a classroom setting didn't work for me, but an online course could work for me.
Yeah.
So I still have the option.
Yay! Well, we know that you're going to make the most brilliant homeopath, Tina, because you're so insightful. You just listen to your intuition.
I think we should teach it, because I think the world, because there's so much money making from people not really understanding what they're actually doing or buying into, people, everyone's, the manufacturers create an easy life for people, but what they haven't created is an easy health. So, people are kind of blind to what's happening to them. And until they get ill, they don't really explore it. And if we could teach intuition, then, that would be a wonderful way to help people, perhaps learn before they get to the stage where their bodies aren't coping. Because I can't believe, on holiday, we were in the New Forest last week. Every night, they had a van come in, different night every week. They had a chili night, they had a fish and chip night, they had a burger night, they had I don't know, something else. There were about 5 different vans that came in. The same people were queuing up, and the same people, and their bellies were like really rotund, and you just got to wonder, how are they not connecting? With what they're putting in their mouth is affecting their body. It's just, I think it's quite tragic, really.
Yes, it is, because actually it does beg the question, doesn't it? Who cares about your health? You've got to care first.
Responsibility.
It's your body. You've got that responsibility, because nobody else needs to.
No. And I think we become a bit of a commodity. We're easy come, easy go.
Yes.
And yet I read in the news a week or two ago that the government are concerned about the low birth rate.
Yes.
That people can't afford to have their babies because of how the government has allowed so many costs. people can't make the choices because they can't afford to raise the children. So they're having less so that they can manage and give maybe one child the chance of, a decent life. And the government don't realise how everything they do impacts everything else, and that's tragic.
That is tragic, but that might actually open up the fertility question that we're looking at the moment. And
but the reason why? The reason why is so that there won't be enough of those when these babies reach adulthood. Not enough workers to pay for the pensions. Did you read it?
No, but that's
awful.
The pension thing has been an argument in the UK for a long period of time, because they're just relying on the same amount coming in to pay the pensions in the future. That's another debate. It's been,
I don't really know enough. It's just like, it's like knock on, isn't it? It's like playing dominoes.
Yes, isn't it?
Yeah.
But everything must start with us being healthy enough to do whatever enough. It is the starting point. It is the foundation of life, as you said.
Yeah.
It's been lovely talking to you, Tina. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your life with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tina, for coming on and talking to us just about your journey, your experience, your own health journey, so that we can understand what is available and how we can go about just getting to know our bodies and what our bodies need a lot more. I hope that you enjoyed this week. Next week, I'm going to be talking to Katie Emerson about her water project. This is a most amazing homeopathic project. They're going to the Solomon Islands and helping people who need more healthcare and haven't got the facilities that they need. So working with the missionaries in the Solomon Islands and how you can help. I look forward to seeing you there. Take care. I do hope you've enjoyed these episodes, and I do hope you can subscribe to our channels. Now, there are various ways for you to listen to our podcast or watch it on video on YouTube. So whether it's iTunes, Spotify, or YouTube, please do subscribe and please do leave us a review. If you leave us a review on these platforms, then more people will see our podcast. We just want more people to share the joy of homeopathy. It's a choice that everybody should know about. Please do everything you can to help us help more people.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode and look forward to listening to our next one. Please don't forget to follow our podcast on your chosen channel, and please do leave us a review so we can continue to share homeopathy with as many people as possible. If you do have any questions, please do reach out to us on any of our social platforms mentioned in the show notes. We at Homeopathy 24/7 hope to empower you on your natural health journey.